There's a quiet kind of power in the people who don't chase conversation. The ones who walk into a room, say nothing, yet somehow become the center of everyone's attention. Not because they speak the loudest, but because something about their presence makes others want to approach first. Most people never understand this. They spend their lives trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to be chosen. Yet the more they try, the more invisible they feel. But human psychology has a strange truth. People don't talk to the person who demands attention. They talk to the one who doesn't need it. This is not about manipulation, performance, or pretending. It's about understanding a simple human desire. People gravitate toward the energy that feels calm, grounded, and effortlessly self-contained. This is the quiet magnetism that makes others speak first. Chapter 1. The Silent Pull. There's a specific kind of ache that appears when you walk into a room and hope, quietly, secretly, that someone will notice you first. Not because you need validation, but because being approached feels like proof that you exist in someone else's awareness. Yet most people experience the opposite: silence, polite distance, the feeling of blending into the background. This chapter begins with that familiar heaviness. The moment when you want connection, but you don't want to chase it. When you hope someone will take the first step, yet you fear they won't. Psychology calls this a recognition longing, the desire to be chosen without asking. A longing that sits deep in the chest, forming a quiet tension between wanting to be seen and not wanting to appear needy. Many people carry this. They speak a little louder, laugh a little harder, try a little more, not out of confidence, but out of fear that silence means they aren't enough. But beneath all of this lies a simple truth. People don't approach the ones who are trying the hardest. They approach the ones whose presence feels calm, grounded, and quietly magnetic. The silent pull begins here. Chapter 2. Where the need begins. The need to be approached rarely begins in adulthood. It starts quietly, often in childhood, in the moments when someone waited to be included, noticed, or invited but wasn't. The brain remembers those small silences. They become patterns, shaping how a person learns to seek connection. Psychology calls this an early attachment echo, the leftover fear that reaching out will lead to rejection. So people learn to wait. They hope others will make the first move, because it feels safer than risking another no. The longing doesn't mean weakness. It simply reflects old emotional wounds trying to stay protected. And without realizing it, these past impressions shape how someone tries or avoids trying to be seen in the present. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Attraction. Human beings are naturally drawn to people who feel emotionally steady. Not louder, not brighter, just grounded. Psychology calls this low-demand presence, the trait of someone who doesn't pull, chase, or pressure others for attention. Their calmness creates safety, and safety creates curiosity. Research on social attraction shows that people approach those who seem self-contained. When someone doesn't seek validation, the mind interprets them as confident, secure, and socially valuable. Their energy feels quiet but magnetic. Meanwhile, high-demand behavior, over-talking, over-explaining, trying too hard, triggers the opposite response. It signals anxiety, and anxiety makes others retreat. In the end, people don't approach the one asking for connection. They approach the one who doesn't need it. Chapter 4. The Internal Tug of War. There's a quiet struggle inside anyone who wants to be approached first. A pull in two directions: the desire for connection and the fear of reaching for it. Psychology calls this approach avoidance conflict, a state where wanting something and protecting yourself from it happen at the same time. You want someone to speak to you, but you don't want to seem desperate. You want closeness, but you fear appearing too eager. So you hover in the middle, waiting, hoping, hesitating. This tension often shows up as forced confidence or sudden silence, both attempts to hide vulnerability. And while the heart wants to be chosen, the mind whispers caution. It's a conflict almost everyone carries quietly. Chapter 5. A Soft Shift Within. The turning point arrives quietly, not as a dramatic change, but as a soft understanding. People speak first when they feel something different in your presence. Not pressure, but ease. Not expectation, but openness. Psychology shows that humans read emotional energy before they read words. When someone no longer needs attention to feel secure, their presence becomes lighter, calmer, easier to approach. This shift is internal, a grounding in self-worth that removes the silent demand for recognition. And when that demand dissolves, something surprising happens. People lean in. They notice the calmness. They sense the space you give them. They feel invited without being pulled. This is the moment magnetism quietly begins. Chapter 6, The Quiet Magnetism. Quiet magnetism is not a trick, a strategy, or a performance. It's a natural result of someone who no longer feels anxious about being seen. Their presence softens. Their energy becomes spacious. Others feel safe around them. Psychology calls this secure social presence, the state where a person's worth isn't dependent on external response. They don't overtalk. They don't try to impress. They simply exist with ease, and that ease invites connection. People approach them because they feel no pressure, no hidden need, no emotional demand. Just calmness, the kind that allows others to breathe more freely. In this stillness, conversations begin naturally, not forced, not chased, just gently drawn in. Chapter 7, A Closing Echo. In the end, the ability to make others speak first is not about charm, strategy, or perfect timing. It's about becoming someone whose presence feels gentle enough to approach and steady enough to trust. The world moves toward the quiet, the grounded, the emotionally unhurried. When a person no longer waits to be chosen, they become easier to choose. When they stop reaching outward, others drift inward. When their worth is no longer tied to attention, their presence becomes magnetic. There is beauty in this shift. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't chase, doesn't demand. It simply exists. And in that calm existence, something magical happens. People speak first, not because they must, but because they want to,